Hello, welcome to another episode of the Horror Vision Horror Podcast. My name is Sean,
And I am Count Anthony.
And I'm Missy.
and we're going to talk about a movie that just opened tonight. It's Thursday, the 14th of May, and all of us within the last few hours have just come back from seeing Curry Barker's feature film debut, Obsession. We are going to be spoiler free. However, I think we may end up running a chainsaw at some point. If you have not seen this movie and you hear us run the chainsaw, we'll give you ample warning. Duck out because we're going to talk spoilers. I don't know that that's going to happen. We have not talked about this, so I don't know how either of you feel about the movie. You don't know how I feel about the movie. So this could just be 5 minutes where we're all like, ah, and then, hang up, whatever. No, uh, so, wow. Anthony, tell me about your theatrical experience with Curry Barker's Obsession.
Man, I really like this movie, and it may end up being it's going to be high on the list.
Okay.
It unnerved me so much. I had a physical reaction to it when I came out, like this kind of like trembling reverberation throughout my body that comes in the form of like anxiety. You know what I mean? Um, and I like movies that make me feel a certain way, and that one touched me in a dark and dirty spot. I won't say where that spot is, but damn, I really enjoyed the movie. Um, Sat in my vehicle and kind of like had to catch my breath. I'm not bullshitting you. I sat in my van and I had to take deep breaths and kind of like, find my center again. It was that impressive. It was that effective. It is a brutal film. I was not expecting that, and much in the way of like Smile. You kind of see the trailer and you're like, oh, there's another tropey looking thing, and it's not what you're expecting. So yeah, all my expectations completely subverted. I really really dug this movie. This is top notch in my book. I really fucking liked it. Audience had a good reaction. um Not a lot of people there this evening. I know last night AMC did the early screenings. That sold out. So I know a lot of people are responding well to it. But yeah, I really fucking dug this movie.
Missy.
I fucking love this movie. And we talk all the time about things being not exactly scary, but like unnerving. This is a scary fucking movie. Like Anthony was talking about physical reactions. When we came out of the movie, my friend Chris is like, look, I still have goosebumps and my shoulders hurt because I spent this entire movie tied up in a knot in my chair. It hits the ground running. It never stops. It's it's unnerving. There's shit in it that's relatable. It's done in a way that's so immersive because you see everything from the perspective of the main character, Bear. So before you realize how deep in his shoes you are, it like this movie just hit me hard, and it's the sound is incredible. As somebody who has a lot of anxiety issues triggered by sound, this movie, it stressed me out, but in a good way. I loved it. Sean?
So, way back, uh, I don't know if this was 1995, something like that. Um, I experienced something with an album that I had not experienced before. And it's happened a couple times. It's happened with a couple other albums, but it was Cypress Hill 3 Temples of Boom. It it made me physically ill. I didn't throw up, but I mean, it is such a dark, fucked up. It's just it really affected me. And there's an album by Blue Das Nord called "The Work Which Transforms God." Same thing. Like first time I listened to it, I was like, Jesus Christ! I'm physically reacting to it. I'm not even talking about mental, emotional, but physically. And Anthony, I can relate because I walked out of theater like I seriously felt like I needed to smoke a cigarette or take, and I don't smoke, or take a shower. I don't shower. No, I'm kidding. I shower, but like
I can attest to that.
there, like I didn't know how to put something between myself and what had I had just walked out of.
Hmm.
It reminded me a little bit of Midsommar in that I really didn't like. I really don't like the characters. The main character. I mean, and now okay, the the performances are all insane. Indy Navarrete, who plays Nikki, deserves a fucking Oscar because the
Yes, she
shit
does.
she does that just really, really. I mean, I'm like, holy, you know. But Michael Johnson, who plays Bear, I mean, you the whole. I just from the opening scene, I just wanted to be like, comb your fucking hair and get your shit together. Jesus, you sniveling little bitch. Um, but that doesn't mean like I'm not holding that against the movie. It all of that like worked with the effect that it had, but it is just it's not what it. It's just not what people are expecting. It is another in the cursed object, so that's really where we are. Like that's a thing. And you see it in a lot of movies, right? There's a definite. When I saw that first teaser with him on the phone, where he's like, "Hey, can I change my wish?"
Hmm.
And the nonplussed operator he's talking to is like, yeah, we don't really do that or whatever. I'm like, oh, total substance vibes.
Hmm.
But yeah, this I didn't felt like it hit the ground running. I thought it took its time to like really settle in the obsession and the compulsion that was going on, and it manifests. I mean, and there's parts where you're like, so wait, what exactly are the mechanics of what's happening here? Um, they don't tell you. You get glances. There's also a lot you can compare it a lot to Talk to Me, I feel like.
Hmm.
Uh, but yeah, I really enjoyed it. I don't know. I would see it again. Like Kirsten did not go with me, so if she wants to see it, I would go see it again. I don't know that this is a movie like a bunch of other movies in the last like Hokum or The Substance or Smile, where like I saw it by myself once and I would gladly see it by myself again. I don't know that I maybe just to kind of get a handle on the experience, because the other thing is like going back to that Cypress Hill record or the Blue Das Nord album and like this movie, it affects you like that the first time. And then this is like the James Gandolfini speech in True Romance. Each time it gets watered down. And so I want to preserve it where it is, but also I'd like to be able to kind of now knowing what I know, go back and like watch it so that I can observe the way that it's working its magic. But I don't know.
I like Magic, The Gathering. You know, I like that you brought up the accursed object thing again. This is definitely, monkey's paw situation where you get
Yeah,
your
oh
wish,
yeah.
but it's not fucking what you want. Um,
Right.
yeah, and uh, like you said, this is becoming more prominent again. I like that we have like all these different variations of the lament configuration floating around in all these other films, and just unleashing these total and complete horrors. It it's just another fine example of how it executes that very fucking well. And even though this tale is kind of like as old as time, um, they the director, I totally take my hat off. Outstanding job. I You used a phrase before, Sean, of sustained tension.
Yeah.
Once this film gets going, it is that from the second, probably from maybe midway through the second act, all the way to the end of the fucking
Yes.
film.
Yes.
Yeah.
And yeah, much like you said, you are so fucking tense. That was me. That was my body. And then it was me like that, and my legs constantly crossing and fucking wiggling because I was so goddamn uncomfortable. It Yeah. I wanted to come out of the theater and start, saying this is probably going to be one of my favorite horror films of the year. But then I had to take a step back and say, wait, watch it again. You're very, very overhyped and in a very odd emotional state because of what this movie puts you in. So let's unpack it a little bit more and we'll revisit it. But as of right now, as it stands, it's high on the fucking list for this year. Man, I do want to see this again pretty soon, but I also want to see Mortal Kombat 2 again. So we'll see. But I really don't have. There's no bad things about this movie. You go in, you're lulled in, as under the guise of a perfect date film, and what you get is just something completely terrifying and horrible. Goddamn. Um, I can't really say anything else without spoiling. So it's up to you guys if you want to talk about some of those instances. We can run the chainsaw.
Missy, you got anything else before we go chainsawing?
I love cursed object movies. Pretty much all the movies that I find genuinely scary are cursed object movies because, I mean, the idea of this horrible thing is happening and nobody believes you and no one will help you is just one of the most horrifying things ever. And I like that we've been getting more of these because these are some of my favorite scary movies. I look forward to seeing this again.
I concur.
It really, like, the tension, it not only does it sustain the tension, but Curry Barker's really smart in the way, like, there's certain things where, just for instance, there's a scene near the end where one character is in one room and the other's outside the room, and they're just pounding on, like, they're just pounding, and it's continuous to the point where you're like, it's almost like enough, but there's something about the context where even, like, there's several moments where, like, it's over. Oh, it's not in the typical way, but like, but even that doesn't feel tired or what. Like, he really knows how to, like, if you picture the tension as, like, you take like a rubber band and you pull it as far, or, like, what do they call those? Not a rubber band because it would break, but what do they call those, like, tension ribbons that people use for, like, physical therapy? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
If you take one of those and pull it as far apart as it'll go, right, and you hold that tension for as long as you can hold, but then it's like he starts, like, fucking with it, and it creates ripples in the tension. So there is no exhale, but it's like a different texture to it all of a sudden, and it's disorienting as fuck. Like, it is a very disorienting movie. You will see people physically do things, and you'll be like, I don't know what I just saw that person do. They're right in front of me. I don't know what that was. I don't know how they move that way. I don't understand that. I told both of you before we went into this, keep in mind, because I knew nothing about this or Curry Barker before going in. I did just see, like, yesterday, but day before, I don't know, recently, A24 tapped him to do their Texas Chainsaw. They have the rights to that now, right? And then I knew that, but then I saw a quote where he's like, wants to kind of lean into the vibe, or he didn't say vibe, but he was mentioning the remake, the Golden Dune or Platinum Dunes remake, which I just rewatched recently. And I actually wrote about it on my website because it's a movie that, like, I both hate and appreciate to different degrees.
I have a love-hate relationship with it as well.
Me too.
That's the movie, right? But I was like, oh, it's kind of weird that he's referencing that. But now it's like, I mean, do we need another Texas Chainsaw Massacre? Certainly not. We don't need any of them but the fucking original. But, I'm very curious, and I think they might have tapped the right guy. Also, before we go Chainsaw, I just got to say, I walked into this movie thinking it was A24, and it was Blumhouse, and that is fucking shocking because I knew nothing about the movie. I don't know how that's possible because every movie Blumhouse puts out, the trailers, it's like a microcosm, the whole movie. Like here's everything. There you go. You don't need to see the movie, but give us your money anyway. So when that Blumhouse logo, came up, I was like, are you fucking kidding? So I don't know if Curry Barker had something to do with that. I don't know, but I applaud whoever decided not to fuck this movie up with the Blumhouse typical marketing strategy. So very pleasing.
There's been a teaser trailer floating around in the theaters, but it was just the scene where he's on the phone.
Yeah, that's the only one I saw. That's the only one I saw. So
So it didn't ruin anything.
yeah. No, that's a good, like,
It was
that's
a
a
good
really good
teaser.
trailer. And in
Yeah.
fact, that scene where that teaser stops, if you go just like a minute after, gets really fucked up, and they didn't
Yeah,
do
it
it.
does.
So the scene comes on, I'm like, I've seen this before, but then where it goes, I was like, oh my God, wow, okay. Okay, let's run the chainsaw, and we'll talk spoilers. Folks, if you're listening, you have not seen Obsession. I think all three of us are recommending you see it. I don't know if I'm going to tell you it's a date movie. I don't know. You should probably know the person pretty well before you take them to see this.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's a good way to like test the water. I don't know. But if you've not seen it, turn us off now. Okay. Let's talk spoilers. Who wants to go first?
I'll go. I've had a psycho ex-girlfriend before. I've had several actually.
So have I.
So
So not this psycho. Not this psycho. Knives, yes, but not this psycho.
that dinner scene it struck a fucking nerve.
Oh, geez.
I've been there.
I'd
I've been
rather have
there.
knives than that.
It's
Oh,
horrible. God damn. And I think that's part of what makes this movie so effective is that there's a lot of relatable moments to people that have
Yeah,
been in
there is.
fucked up relationships, codependency, just overall abuse in general. Like there is that undertone there that really carries the film on a certain current that, like you said, comes in waves. Um, yeah, that scene really got me going. Watching him while he sleeps. And here's the
oh,
thing about this.
Oh, that was creepy.
It's like a joke. It's a joke. Oh, I like, it's a joke that people say, I like watching you sleep.
yeah,
I'll
yeah,
watch you. It's just one of those things that's part of the weirdo zeitgeist. Even scenes like where she's standing in the corner. How do you build upon that? That's a trope that's like been around forever now. How do you build upon that? And they figured it the fuck out.
yeah.
Yeah.
But you're absolutely correct in what you talked about a couple moments ago. When I saw the Blumhouse thing come up, I was like, oh, this isn't A24. Maybe this is going to suck. Glad I was wrong.
Yeah.
Very glad I was wrong.
Yeah.
There's just all these instances and isms that she does that are completely and totally fucking unnerving. Just the shit she says. One thing in particular, the whole threat of suicide. Um, Again, I've been there with an ex, but seeing all that stuff on screen just really, really bothers you. There's more scenes in particular that get under my skin, but those are a couple of the subtle ones that really work their fucking magic. And it doesn't take a lot. And I think it just takes the right director to pull those performances out. And goddamn, this director's doing fucking wonderful, man. I hope this movie does gangbusters. What about you? What do you want to spoil? What do y'all want to talk about?
I don't relate to it from like the Psycho X perspective, but I feel like everybody has at some point had like a crush that was not returned. And I felt like while I don't agree with what he did, I related to the bear character. And I like the way it starts out where it kind of puts you in that friend group and then everything goes batshit nuts. Because it just made it hit harder. You almost forget you're watching a horror movie and then all the fucked up shit starts happening and it doesn't stop. And I mean, then as far as things that are terrifying, I can't think of like the idea of losing all your free will is like one of the most horrifying things I can think of. And I don't know about you guys, but I was going to ask if was any scene that's like I literally jumped out of my seat at one point.
Which scene?
Uh, the park in the car.
And you
I
know
knew
it's
it was
coming.
coming.
I knew
You
it
know
was
it's
coming,
coming.
and I
But
still jumped the fuck out of my seat.
But you know what? He was so smart the way he filmed that because, if I'm not mistaken, so it's the two of them sitting in the car, right? It's him and the not psycho obsessed girlfriend, the other girl in the group, and when so they're doing coverage, so it's like they're shooting from the passenger seat to get her, and they're shooting from the driver's seat to get him, and when they're going from the passenger seat to her, it's a slightly wider shot, and you can see through the window, the driver's side window behind her, and it's kind of foggy or whatever, and it's dark out, but it's you can see a lot of space over her shoulder, and it does it a couple times, and so you're waiting for it. It's a wider shot, so you're expecting to see, because it's coming, right? You're expecting to see Nikki
Of
come
course.
running up, and she doesn't. So then it does it a few times, and then when it's closer on her and you don't have as much window is when it happens, and it was really well, like he choreographed the filming so fucking well because you knew it was coming, but he still thwarted your expectations and got you. So yeah, that was masterfully done. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah.
Not only did the scare get you, but fuck, man, what happens a second?
Yeah, right. And it's brutal.
So there's like a thing in one of the things I find funny, like hysterical. So one of the funniest things I've ever seen is the Simpsons Cape Fear episode where Sideshow Bob gets out from under the car and steps on a rake and it pops up and hits him in the head. And then it just keeps going. There's like rakes all over the place. And it goes just longer than you would ever expect anybody to go, but just shy of where it would get old. And like this takes a similar aesthetic in that both the banging scene I mentioned earlier and the face mutilation scene in the park, it just keeps going. And you're like, oh my God, it goes way longer than you would ever think it would go.
Her demeanor after that is like, I'm gonna fix this. Don't worry. I'm gonna take it. It's all okay. I'm gonna take care of it. But I'm gonna need you to help me get rid of the body.
It's your fault. It's your fault.
This is your fault. Remember,
Oh,
dude, that whole fucking Missy.
Well-
yeah, that entire scene is so fucking unnerving.
Yeah,
At
it is.
that point, I also have to wonder. So, the free will thing you mentioned, Missy, one of the really chilling is when he gets up. I don't know if it's. Yeah, I think that's before that where he gets out of bed, and she's like talking to him, but it's not. So, like I mentioned before, the mechanics where you're like, what is going on? They never really give it to you, but there is this moment where she's like, no, it's Nikki. She's asleep. Kill me.
Yeah, kill me.
It reminds me of The Exorcist where they lift up her shirt and you see
Help
Reagan
me.
is inside and she from the inside of the body scratches in the skin. Help me. It's like very similar kind of idea. So at that point, I'm like, I think that whatever it is that's in her to fulfill the wish is like, okay, we both know now. We know, like all it's all out in the open now. I'm not her, whatever. But and that like the scene in the car with the can I make a change? When that goes past where the teaser is, and he's like, "Oh, you want to talk to Nikki?" and you just hear the shrieking. That reminded me of Talk to Me, like that's that brief moment of hell where
Exactly.
it's like, so. Oh, so that's Nikki. So what's walking around in her? Oh man, this is so fucked up.
You go
Oh.
dabbling with the supernatural. You go playing
Right, you
around
don't-
with spirits and shit. Guess what happens?
Yep.
One of them's gonna crawl up your ass.
Yeah. Oh.
Good
you don't
fucking
fuck
gun.
with anything that's gonna take away somebody's free will because that shit that's bad magic. It's always gonna come back bad.
I love how when he goes back to the store and the guy's fucking with him.
It's the best. I was just, I like because oh my god, I love it so much, so much. Oh, that was amazing. That was such a
Where are
good
they? Where the
scene.
fuck are they? They were right over here. He's like, I'm fucking with you. They're right here. But then it goes a little further and he's in on it.
Yeah,
He knows. He knows. He's like, I already made my wish. He explains the rules even further. He's like, I can't do it. Maybe you can get somebody else to do it for you and undo it all. I
yeah.
can't help you. He's like, you're fucked, basically.
Right.
Dude, and then the same thing with like the the slightly overstaying the effect, like the banging or the head beating. Like when Ian's
Yeah.
like, I want $1 billion, and then the money just starts falling and it
Raining
doesn't
down.
stop. It just keeps going for like I don't know, like way longer than oh my god. It was just
It
so good.
weird pull. It reminded me of a scene from The Gate 2 because you can make wishes with the little guys, the little creatures, and the wish only lasts for 24 hours, and then everything you wish for turns to literal shit. So the guy wanted like a Mercedes Benz, and then he goes out in the morning and looks out in his driveway. It's just a giant mound of shit, and he
Oh.
reaches in his pockets, all the money's feces. It's
Ah.
yeah.
Oh man.
I don't
I
know
never
why. It was just one of those things where I was like, why does this remind me of fucking The Gate 2? Um,
See, it reminded me of fucking The Possession, the one with Sam Neill,
yeah,
Oh,
yeah, I
I
could
could
see
see
that.
that. Yeah,
I could see
the
that.
intensity.
especially with like the way they do the sound, where like there are times when she's screaming that she sounds like a fucking shrieking banshee, and
Yeah.
then she turns into, oh, I love you so much, and then she's evil again. I hate yelling. I don't do yelling, and those scenes really got under my skin.
Yeah.
Speaking of another scene that does that thing where it goes on a little too long, but then again does something that really, gets under your skin is the party when kiss the person to your left and she walks behind her
And
and
moves her
just
chair.
fucking stands there for a second and then just you see her getting drugged back and
Yes.
then gets in that stupid pose. But even all the other like cringy shit she was doing, like, wow, is this gonna keep going? Are they just gonna like continue to let her further embarrass herself? And they do.
Yeah.
And by the end of it, I don't know if you feel bad for her. You feel something. Um, it wants you to feel a certain way about her. It wants you to go, oh, she's fucking crazy. But then a couple scenes later, that's when you get her sleeping in bed at night with the wounded face because she broke a fucking bottle of Jack Daniels and
Oh.
stabbed it into her fucking face. Right after that is when she refuses to go to the hospital, doesn't want to get anything, and then that night is when he gets out of bed to go meet the
Yeah.
friend. So that's the other thing too. It kind of plays with how let me put it in different words. You don't really know how long this whole process is going,
Yeah.
but it doesn't seem because there's a montage at one point where it looks like day in, day out, and they're loving life, and then
Mhm.
all of a sudden everything goes wrong. But it seems like it's a lot faster. Like like it's on set much quicker, or maybe it's just the bad shit that becomes on set quicker. Um, but yeah, I was kind of confused about that for a second, but then I remember there's that montage that looks like, many dates, many meals, many
Mhm.
breakfasts, and
Yeah.
everything's lovey-dovey. Yeah. That I'm gonna step off this for a second. What about any other scenes or any other, instances in the movie that fucked with you?
I I will say I thought even the performance when it first happens, where it's like it's almost like she whatever it is, like controls her and then relinquishes and controls her. Um, I was very impressed with all the performances. Her performance especially was just outstanding and really unnerving, really
Yeah.
unnerving. and they slowed her voice down sometimes, like the pitch, very slightly, but
Hmm.
like that, and just her real on. I love at the party where she's like, all of you will die never knowing the love, whatever she says. And then I love like the friends are sitting there looking at her, and there's like the one girl that's like sitting on the back of the couch or whatever, and she's just like like this look like this crazy fucking bitch. What is she talking about? But then she's like, no, I'm just kidding, guys. I'm just kidding, huh? Or maybe I'm not. Deal with it. Like, oh my God.
Like I said, they
Oh,
just really let her go like full cringe, and it doesn't stop. It just goes on and on and on. But
ugh.
then, that's like where shit starts to go south. And it's about that point in the film where it becomes very taut and stays that way till the end of the
Yeah.
film. And you don't get that from a lot of movies. A lot of the modern stuff doesn't have these kinds of displays. You'll get maybe 10 minutes of it at the very end, especially tail end of the film, and you might have had something that was kind of okay for the first two thirds, and then have it shit the bed at the in the third act. And I'm just very fucking happy that that wasn't the case here. And I'm
Yeah.
retreading what I've said earlier already, but it's I have to see this again. I still want to unpack it a little bit more, but
Hmm.
uh, not since stop motion was that last year had I
Yeah.
had another like really visceral physical reaction to a film. So I'm glad I have another one,
Yeah.
in the arsenal.
Hmm.
Yeah. Definitely. And also like most movies, like I laugh at stuff that most people don't laugh at. So if there's uncomfortable stuff or really violent or gory, I'll laugh.
Hmm.
There wasn't a lot to laugh at here. Like there were a few scenes, like the
No.
money. The money was definitely like a tension
Yeah.
breaker, right? An exhale. But the chair when she pulled her backwards, I laughed at a little bit. But other than
Hmm.
that, I don't know that I really laughed at anything. Like it was a different. He. This is a very different film than
It's
what.
mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
It's a
It's
mean.
real
not.
It's a
mean.
mean.
It's mean, but it's not. I mean, it is, but also I tend to have a thing about really mean-spirited movies, and this is it. Like I don't know, it didn't quite. It didn't. It is mean, but it didn't
I feel
go
like it
too
progresses
far.
to it. Yeah, there's a fair
Hmm.
balance.
Oh man. Well, that's Obsession, and I can't wait to see. You know, the one. Hopefully, Curry Barker um, will make a Texas Chainsaw Massacre and then move on and do something else original because you know, I mean, I'd hate to think of not getting another original. And it reminded me a lot of Smile. I still like Smile better,
Hmm.
but that's I think I like because of Smile's the way it's stylized and is a little bit more for me. But
Me too.
also, I would also just like to mention that Rock Burwell did the score, and I really like the score. It put me in mind of the Jane Schoenbrun's movies. Like it has a very liminal feel to it, and it's partly the way it's shot and written, but it's also had a lot to do with the score. And it's not the score that you would necessarily associate with this kind of movie, but I thought it worked really well. So that's Obsession, and I guess you could say we're obsessed, but not to the degree that I'm gonna harm anyone. This is Horror Vision. My name is Sean.
I'm your little food critic.
Oh God.
Well played.
I- and I'm still just Missy.
When incoming high school senior Lisa McCready's boyfriend and classmates are brutally murdered, At a party in the woods, the quiet suburban community of Sundown Hills transforms into a paranoid nightmare. Betrayal, corruption, and dark family secrets push Lisa dead center into a burgeoning class war where rival millionaires plot to steal the town's future between reliance on big oil and the incoming age of legalized weed, electric cars, and social conscience. As she struggles for answers, the killings continue, and Lisa finds the world she knew is little more than a lie to placate the masses and keep a satanic 1% in power. From the demented mind of Sean C. Baker, author of Murder Virus, A Collection of Desires, and Volume 4, comes Black Gloves and Broken Hearts, Teenage Giallo Mystery, available now.